to our quick tips video. In this episode we are going to clean out and pull apart a HP CN Neo for Iwata double action gravity feed airbrush. We are using Createx illustration colors. I'm just using the illustration black, filling up the ink well, and I'm just going to use that airbrush now and just spray a few dots and lines and shadows just to run the paint through. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and clean it out using water, just showing you exactly the best way to clean it. We use these airbrushes in our classes, so this is a great video to help all of our students as well, and we hope you guys get a bit out of it. Even if you don't own a Neo, at least it will show you how to pull apart a gravity feed airbrush. So just see there, I was doing some practices, and now we've finished up with our practice, and what we're going to do is tip out the paint back into the Createx illustration colors bottle. So just make sure it's all out from there. Put that aside. And what we're going to do now is, you can see I've got just a plastic bucket there with some ordinary car sponges, and what I do is I lay two flat and then one vertically standing up in the middle so that it creates a bit of a barrier. And all I'm doing now is using water in basically a sauce bottle and flushing that through the inkwell, so just the gravity cup there, and basically running like full trigger to run that water through until the paint runs clear. So now I've taken the needle out. It's a 0.35 needle that they've got in these Neos, and I'm putting my finger over the front, which creates bubbling back through the cup and helps to just clean off any of the paint that might be stuck on the side of the gravity cup. So let that run clear. Going to need to add more water. Now, one thing I'm doing now is flushing through the back of the airbrush, so down where that needle sits. So once you release that needle locking nut, you can remove your needle, and I'm flushing water through the back there. Basically, if you're using automotive paints, you would use thinners or gun wash to clean this out, and then I wouldn't recommend using a plastic box and sponges, because it's going to deteriorate that. So you might want to use a metal tin or something to spray into, but whatever paints you're using, you need to use the proper cleaning solution for that. So we're using the Createx illustration colors. They're water-based paints, so we can just flush the whole airbrush out with water. You can see now I've removed that gravity cup, just putting some more water through the well there. I'm going to really clean it thoroughly. I mean, obviously if you're going between colors, you don't need to clean it as much as this. This is a bit of an overkill, but I just thought it'd be a good video to show you how to go about it. So now I'm getting a cotton bud or Q-tip. I found these at a local shop, and they've got a pointy end and then a standard rounded cotton bud end as well, so they're quite handy for airbrushes. You can also use the wire cleaning kits that are available either through Iwata, or some of the other companies have them as well. So just using that cotton bud there, I'm just cleaning off all the excess paint, even in the thread of where that gravity cup sits. Now what I'm doing is unscrewing the air cap and just giving that a quick clean as well to make sure there's no paint build up. And before I screw that back on, and while the needle's out, I've checked the front of that air nozzle. Make sure there's no paint there to stop the airflow on the paint. Tightening the gravity cup back up, getting a rag, clean rag, give that a wipe, and just wipe over your airbrush. The cleaner it is, the better it's going to perform. Now with that same rag, just spray a bit of water on your needle and wipe your needle. Make sure that you wipe from the bottom up so that you don't stab yourself. Believe me, I've done that a few times. Okay, so nice and carefully reinsert the needle. Don't jam it in, just be nice and careful until it can't go any further. You notice then I've just wiped the needle on my hand just to make sure that there is no more paint residue on there. And once you've put the needle in, just check with your trigger that it is moving back and forward so that you've lock that nut correctly. Okay, so just flushing it back through and put your handle back on. Check it a couple more times and you're all ready to go. Okay, now this is the box that the Neo comes in. So I'm just going to show you how to pull the actual HPCN apart. So we'll grab the little spanner that comes with the box. Another good feature is that they come with numerous gravity cups and sizes. So I'll basically show you now quickly how you can swap that over, but you can see there it's removed and it's got the well, so you can actually put a few drops of paint in and run it like that as well. The good thing with all the Iwatas is you can remove the air cap and spray without it, and it makes cleaning tip drying a lot easier. So I'm just screwing that on and you can see now you've just reduced it down to a smaller cup if you want to do some finer work. Okay, so just using the Iwata cleaning mat here, which is a rubbery mat with a backing on it so it doesn't slide around, and it's great to hold all your parts so nothing will, as the mat says, nothing will ever roll off. So just pull everything out, pull the needle out, undo the back, unscrew this section here. Okay, pulling all that apart. You can see I've pretty much got the body now. I'll remove the air cap and the nozzle cap, and then carefully using the spanner that comes with the kit, just unscrew the nozzle. Just be careful when you reattach the nozzle that you don't over tighten. Just make sure all that area is clean. So that's the Neo body. Now we're going to put it back together. So carefully, just what I like to do is use my fingers and just carefully reattach that before you start to tighten it, just to make sure the thread's correct, because you don't want to cross thread the nozzle. And just, you'll feel how tight you need to go, just don't over tighten it because you can snap the thread. Okay, just reassembling everything, put the air cap back on. I'm going to reinsert the trigger. You'll see there's a notch on the back of the trigger. That indicates that that should be to the back towards the handle of the airbrush. So it just sticks in. You can see that's in correctly because it's bouncing up and down. Now reinsert. That's the needle spring. Chucking guide. So that just sits in behind your trigger, and screw that all the way in. So it can't go any further. And then just check that everything's moving correctly. Attach your needle locking screw. Reinsert your needle. Again, don't jam it in because you can damage the tip. So be careful when you reinsert it, but it needs to be all the way forward. If paint is still leaking out, that means that the needle isn't all the way forward. That could be because either there's a split in the tip or there's paint that's obscuring the needle from sitting all the way correctly in the nozzle, so allowing paint to seep out. So just reattaching the gravity cup and the lid, and that's it. There you have it. So we'll just pop all that back in the box, and that brings us to the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed the video and it's helped you out in some way. We'll bring more videos describing other models of Iwata airbrushes and how to clean them and how to pull them apart. Until next time, thanks for watching. it.